Good morning, Miss Jen.
Good morning, Miss Jackie. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thanks. Happy
Awesome.
almost Thanksgiving.
Right? Doesn't feel like it yet, but working on it.
Yeah,
We'll start baking today.
nice. So we are going to talk about, we're waiting for one more person, but we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to your heart. The greatest, most important book you will ever read is the one you write.
Right.
Yeah,
Excited about it.
yeah, me too. So, what was it about the post that I know I asked you this before, but just for our interview, what was it about the post? Was it my wording? Was it the time that you saw it? Was it synchronistic events that made you respond and say, yeah, I want to be interviewed on that?
It's interesting because we worked in the past. So when you posted that, it was like, oh, that's me. Like I just, um, you know, it's something that I would like to share about. So I think that was like my first response. So I just, it interests me to be able to share and, be able to support somebody else that's going through that same journey or that same question. So yeah, so that's kind of what prompted me to raise my hand and say, here, I would love to share a little bit more.
Yeah, I like from what I've known you for, I don't know how long it's been, 2 years? I'm not really sure, but
I think more like three.
almost three? Okay. So
Yeah.
maybe it was, there we go.
Hello.
Tanisha's coming in, but let's finish this sentence. I think was it like August or something of 2018?
I believe so. It sure was right after I came back from Peru. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so it was something around that time frame. Yes.
So, hi, Tanisha.
Hi, hi.
Can you hear us and see us and everything's good?
So I just turned off something that popped up here and I can't see you all anymore. So I don't know what I did.
Okay. Well, you have time because I'm in the middle of asking Jackie or talking about something with Jackie. So take your time. So I think in the 3.5 or whatever years it's been, gosh, that's a long time. Since I've known you, I've noticed that you are always wanting to support. You always make comments about if I can support someone else in their journey, if I can share and help someone else's path, become easier, or, there's always this like sense of giving from you. Where did that come from?
I would say my grandma, because that's the first thing that came to mind. My grandma was always very giving. So I believe that's part of it. But honestly, it's when you've come from a place where not many give or many support, you kind of tend to learn to do that for others because you know what it's actually like to not have the support or the resources to get that. So I think, coming from that experience for a while where I felt alone for a very long time, being able to provide that sense of comfort or support to others, I think that's where, kind of where I started, being able to do that for others or like wanting to do that for others. So I think that's part of it. But I always saw my grandma giving even when she didn't have something. So I think from my childhood, that's what I remember.
I love that.
And I've always, it's interesting because I've always received from those that have less. For some reason, So it's always been like, they give you from their heart. So I take that with me, I cherish that, and I think that's part of it.
I feel that.
Right.
That makes sense. Can you see us now, Tanisha?
Yes, I can.
Yay. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. So this is Inspired Moment Messages. This is my channel. I'm Jan Edwards. Today's topic is an interview on the subject of the greatest, most important book you will ever read is the one you write. And I have to give Dr. Lara Romero, a heads up on that, because I heard her say that maybe 5 years ago, and I loved it. It just really impacted me. She's one of the first people I worked with on writing her book. So what I was asking Jackie is, what was it about the post that you saw on Facebook about this interview that really kind of spoke to you and called you and made you respond?
Kind of similar to what Jackie said. I'm more of a lone wolf. I carried a lot of my trauma. And I'm fixed that because it's not mine anymore. I don't own it. It's not mine. I carried a lot of trauma with me for 41 years. And I was faced with suicide or walk through the shadows. You see? And when I got away to Africa, away from everybody, it was me, the little soul tribe family I had. And that was it. But they protected me and they gave me my space to write. And that meant everything to me. No matter what happened afterwards, that meant everything. I appreciate them for that. I appreciate them for that, because it helped me see who I had truly become, what I was truly hiding. And I said, if my inner child is crying like this, let me just really take a broad perspective of the world as a whole. And I said, from the politics all the way down, our inner child has been screaming. And who's going to take a stand and say, let's talk about the things that the society would say is shameful. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Wow. And so was it kind of like perfect timing when you saw my post and you already felt that and you said yes?
Well, when I saw it, I was like, so I'm very like animated, if y'all don't know me. So I was like, oh my God, oh yeah, because they need to know about this. And instantly I was just like, it was like, yes, but it wasn't aggressive. It was more so like a heal the world, make it a better place. And that's my heart. That is my heart, because if you can heal from whatever it is, life, I call it life. If you can heal and balance out who you really are, you won.
Love it. You can
I
relate,
love that.
Jackie. I know you.
Oh yeah. I feel you, sister. I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt you too. That's why I was like, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right to the main question here, and then we'll kind of back out a little bit. But so the greatest book you'll ever read is the one you write. What I meant by that is, how did writing your book, regardless of whether it's finished yet or whether it's published or whether you're never going to finish it or publish it, but you started writing your book, how did the process of writing actually not only change your life, but create some kind of transformation or healing within you and your life that you totally didn't expect from writing your book? So I'm going to start with Jackie.
Oh wow.
I know. Jump in.
It's like wow. I think I share this with you because when I started writing my book, I was like, oh, let me share it with the world. And, you know, I thought it was going to be like an easy peasy, just write everything. And little did I know that, like, kind of how you talk, Tanisha, like, you don't understand what that inner child has gone through and all the suppressed emotions you have in it just everything started surfacing, and I was not ready for it. I was not prepared for it. I think we had to pause like several times through the process. I had to change and revise my life, and instead of everything falling together like I thought, everything just fell apart. And it felt like the world was just caving in. And I'm like, oh, here I am thinking, oh, I'm going to help others, but why am I falling apart? So I think that was the process for me at that moment. It took me a while to understand that there was so much healing that needed to happen in my life prior to me putting it. And when I first started writing my book, because I started on my own, and this was like several years ago, and it was coming from a place of anger and hate and resentment. And so everything that I wrote, and by the time I came to Jen and I was asking for support, I couldn't find that. It got lost in my computer. It got lost in my files. And I think it was a reason because there needed to be a healing in my life. And once I understood that, then I was able to really put things in together and start sharing from a place of love and from a place of understanding that we all go through our own journey, and others treat us the way they have been treated, or the best, the way they know best how to treat us. And we cannot judge from that place. And so there was a lot of healing that happened in my life throughout the process. I thought I had finished, yet it's not finished yet. It was complete in a sense, but instead of being one book, it turned into being two books. So it just, you know, it's still a process. And I think there's still so much more, because in the past year, I've done so much. And I know I still have a long ways for my healing journey, but I was able to embrace that little girl and cry with her and comfort her, and, you know, just be able to heal that part of me that was not healed. And sometimes we look for outside sources to do that. And little did we know that it's ourselves, you know, our adult self is so harsh on our child that we don't really get to embrace it and really just tell it like, you know what, you did the best that you could, and I'm proud of you, and just hold her tight and say, we got this, you know, I got you. And so I think that was like the process for me. You know, there's still so much more, but it was just so powerful to understand that. And once you write a book, it's like, you know, and like Jen says, you don't have to publish it sometimes, but to really understand where you come from in your life. And I think that's what writing does. It gives you a glimpse of where you've been and how things have been, and be able to heal those parts of you that maybe you didn't even know existed. So that was like my process and my writing journey. And it's just, you know, it's amazing, because I remember somebody told me, like, especially in the Hispanic culture, you know, we're told like, there's a saying, no saques la ropa sucia, because everybody's going to see it. Like, don't take out your dirty laundry, because people are going to judge you. But for me, somebody told me, like, sometimes there's things that is better for you to take to the grave. And honestly, I think because of that, we create so much generational trauma for our children, that we don't break that thread that ties us all together, and we carry it on and we pass it on, and it's been passed from generation to generation because we just bury all the things that we think we're not supposed to say. And if we heal those parts, if my grandmother would have healed those wounds, if my mom would have healed those wounds, you know, I would be in a better place. So I decided to break that chain and be able to support my kids by healing myself. Because I was trying to save the world, like Jen said, right? I was like supporting everybody, giving to everybody. And the one that needed saving was me. And I didn't realize that. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, first let me save myself. And then I can go ahead and save the world. Or if I save one life, and that's the way I see it now, if I can save one life, I've called it a success. So that's kind of like my writing journey. So thank you, Jen, because you've been a huge the vessel in that. You've been that light that's guided me sometimes. So thank you.
I don't know if I can talk right now. What I do know is that everything you just said, we need to put that somewhere in your book. Yeah.
It was very profound. Very.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey, and many tears and many falls and shaking it off, and you know, sometimes falling up. Somebody told me it's not falling apart, it's a breakthrough. Yeah. It's a breakthrough. So yeah.
And those tears led you to the trail of you.
Yes, I like that.
I feel like I went on a lot of that journey with you, the after effect of through the breakdown. So that's where these tears are coming from. Oh my gosh. We're going to come back to you in a minute, but I want to ask the same question of Tanisha. So how did the writing of your book, whether it's finished or not, change your life or transform you or heal you in totally unexpected ways?
So, as you know, I just lost my father, and he's not gone. You know, I don't look at death like that. Death is a rebirth for me. It's transformation. So to understand that before that happened, it's like I have a different sense of peace. And this book helped me with that, because I was always searching for my father to be my rescuer, even when I was grown, you know. And I'm glad that he put the boundaries that he did, because if he didn't, then I would have felt entitled to his energy. You know what I'm saying? And that should not be. So he helped me in a way, his silence. And this is what I told him. I said, thank you for teaching me when to let go and when to hold on. And I don't know if he understood me, but when I got done, I said, did you ever know that you're my hero? And to focus on those things that I got to share with him, that's where that peace comes in. And a lot of people don't understand. They're coming at me and they're like, are you okay? Honey, the peace that I have, it's a different type of understanding. And this book, them preparing me, warning before the storm.
Oh. Wow. So do you have a name for your book?
Well, it's called Matters of My Heart. But when I wrote it, I wrote Healing What They Left Behind, Suicide Prevention Program. Oh. Because I didn't think I would be able to make it without my father. That was my friend.
Mm.
And so Jen, of course, you know that I do divination. So when I was shown years before it happened, it was almost 2 years. It wasn't exactly 2 years. And I shared it with the person closest to me, and they treated me like a plague. That's when I was like, wait a minute, but you used me to help you. And I had to get past that because at first I was enraged. I was like, my sister Jackie, I was enraged. I want everybody to feel my pain, but why? Why do you want everyone to feel your pain? That's ugly. And I had to release all of that, and I released it all right there.
Oh,
All right.
Mm.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And so when I say I'm at a place of peace, my feet are freezing right now while I'm telling you this, and they're tingling. When I say I'm at a place of peace, it's almost as if I look at myself sometimes in the mirror and I'm like, who are you? And then I say, but I love you so much. And thank you for showing up. And I got that from a young lady on TikTok. She said, for 21 days, look in the mirror and tell yourself, thank you, I'm free, and I love you.
Mm.
That fourth
Powerful.
day, it was a whole different transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So would you say, if you could just pass on one nugget, the biggest nugget that writing your book changed in you, that you would like to share with anyone watching, anyone considering writing a book but putting it off, or anyone who started a book and maybe didn't finish it because it got too difficult and they're still there? What would the nugget be, Tanisha?
Wow. I wrote something down for that.
Okay.
A lot of people tend to shy away from writing because a lot of times that first book, it might be more like a biography or releasing or freeing. So this was oh, okay, let me get myself together.
Yeah. You know what? It's totally fine. I mean, these interviews, they're supposed to be raw and real. So if you want to freaking cry, you cry.
This is what I feel. I am not my trauma, nor anyone else's. And I also understand projections. Be here, be now, be present. All my L's were never losses. They were beautiful lessons. So if you can put that in the book, I can guarantee, this guy named Don told me this, we've all been in the same shoe store, just not maybe the same shoe. So I'm sure you can relate to part of the things that I've been through, just like I did with Jan and Jackie. So that's like divine sisterhood for me. So it's like, yay, so why not invest in yourself? You've invested in everybody else. Invest in yourself, because that book just could be your gateway, your pathway, your journey, whatever it is. That could be it for you. And you're sitting on the gift, the greatest gift.
You're sitting on the gift. Oh my God, I love that.
Beautiful.
Woo. Jackie?
Yeah.
What about you?
You told me not to prepare for this. That I was
know.
like, I didn't even look at the questions.
Oh, you did it? Oh, babe. That superpower.
I saw the email and I was like, no, I'm not gonna look at the question because I know myself. I'll go do homework and I'll do research because I want to make sure I'm prepared, because that was my program. That was like, oh, this girl needs to prepare because I don't want to be seen as somebody that doesn't know, because that's how I kind of run my life, right? To be seen as somebody that didn't know. And so I think the only thing I can say is something that came to me while Tanisha was speaking is, and it goes along what our titles have been played with as far as book title, and it's, we need to cut that invisible rope that we all have. You know, we think that our life is not important, or our life is not as, like, I have nothing to share, like, you know, who's going to benefit of what I have to say. And like that individual told me, like, you know, there's certain things that you take to the grave, but the greatest changes have been made by those that have the courage to share and share with the world, and sometimes just share in a group what their life has been like. And sometimes, because I know for me, many changes have happened reading other people's stories, hearing other people's journeys, and saying, if they can do it, I can do it. So I do have a chance to be, you know, that what I want to be. So I guess the biggest thing is, like, break that invisible rope that generational trauma has caused for you. Because you said it, Tanisha, when you find that peace within you, and you can walk with that peace, nobody, and I mean nobody, can shake it off. And so, just like you, I just lost my father 2 months ago, and it was hard because before I didn't know how to embrace grief. I embraced it. I went through it, but I came out of it. So it was like, okay, now I find that peace within me to say, I am who I am, and I can carry that with me. And it was interesting because I'm servicing, right now for work, I'm servicing a Walmart, and this lady comes up to me, and I'm just speaking to her from my heart. And randomly she goes, can I please give you a hug? I need a hug. She's like, it's hard to find people with energy like yours. And I just embraced her, and I can feel her melting, her pain melting away. And I was like, I cried at that moment. I cried, and I was like, wow, I just share not even a grain of sand with her. And it has such a powerful impact on her. So like you, Tanisha, your story and my story and Jen's story, if we can just impact one person, and that's how I said at the beginning, that's what I call it, a difference. But if we can break that invisible rope that we all have of anger and resentment towards our family, towards our ancestors, towards everything, imagine how much better this world could be. So that will be my thing. Break that chain, break that invisible rope that, you know, it doesn't even exist if we can just let it go.
That's right.
You know, one of my questions I was going to ask, you already answered it, both of you, but I'm going to state the question anyway, which is, what have you learned about yourself through the experience of writing the book? You both answered it beautifully. So I love the way this flows. And that's what happens when you are being completely 100% you, stepping fully into you, shadows, light, all of it.
Mhm.
And when your heart just opens up and you have that breakdown and then you have that breakthrough. And I see that in both of you. So my next and last question is, what do you see next in your life as far as a next step or a journey or a venture, even if it's tiny, as a result of writing this book and where you're at because of it? What's next for you in your healing journey or in your coming out journey? Tanisha, if you need a minute to think about it, we could move with that.
You know what? I would love to teach classes with the book, because in the book, I talk about matters of the heart. The first thing is rape. That's one of the biggest things no one wants to talk about. And we really don't want to talk about the man being raped, because, oh no, that's taking away his masculinity. So those type of things, they need someone right there. Everybody can't handle it alone. I'm grateful that I know I wasn't alone. You understand me? So it's like, for those who don't understand that, can I be that bridge in that classroom and give those questions that I wrote down and those expressions and connect, just like Jackie said, just with energy, and be like, hey, you're not alone. If they need a message from an ancestor, whatever, you're not alone. I will be that vessel. I will be that intercessor, because I remember when I didn't have one.
That's powerful. Mm-hmm.
Now the tears roll.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So my next step, wrap that book up. Wrap that book up. There's so much has happened, I think, during the pandemic that, like you said, Jen, needs to be part of the book, because so much healing happened. I think, I was asking because I was so overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, like if the world shut down, I think I called it. Because when the world shut down, it was like, I was like, if everybody could just slow down, and everybody did. And I think we weren't prepared for that. And, but it gave me an opportunity to really reevaluate where I stood as far as personal, business, family matters. And it gave me a sense of value for myself, first of all, and everybody else. And I kind of read the book like twice during that time, and I saw where I needed to make some changes and add-ons to it to make it complete, because it felt like it was missing something.
Yeah.
Kind of when I first began, I wrote it from anger and anxiety and all this stuff, but throughout these years of healing, I think I am at a place where I can finally finish and call upon those energies to align to be able to get it through without all the obstacles that I saw before. So I think I'm ready for the next step, and most likely it will be 2 books, because the first one is just my memoir, and then the second one is just like, how can we take everything that I have learned and empower somebody? And you talk about rape, Tanisha, and I think that's something that is not addressed, especially in our culture. It's just shoved under the rug, and it's like that rug is like, I don't know, 10 feet high, and people still don't want to look at it, and people still want to turn a blind eye to it. But I think once we begin that healing, then we can all start moving forward, because this world needs so much healing right now. It brought the ugly parts on everybody. I mean, it really made you evaluate who you could trust and who could be there for you. I don't fear death. I never have. I was like, my life was, I was death being alive. So for me, it was like, I don't need to fear death. And people shame me for saying that. But to me, it's like, how can you be alive if you're hiding under a rock? How can you be alive if you're not giving somebody that's hurting a hug? So I think that's what really changed for me this time around, and be able to finish my book and wrap it up. You know, it's along the side of fear, because I live in fear for most of my life. Jen knows that. Yeah. And so to be able to come out and say, you know what, you don't have to live in fear, because I'd rather live my life to the fullest, because I don't know if tomorrow's guaranteed for me.
Thank you.
And it's not guaranteed for anybody. We all have our time. We all have our moment. It doesn't matter if it's by illness, by an accident, by anything. Your time here is count. We all already have our expiration date. So why not live your life to the fullest and love to the fullest? So I think that's where my next step is. And so
thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
We've got about a minute left, and so I just want to just put my hands over my heart.
Thank you.
You feel my gratitude. And you two are going to get in touch with each other afterward, I know.
Oh, for sure. I want to get to know this sister. Yes.
And, you know, if I can do anything for you, you know, whether it's helping you with your book or helping you with your life, you know, I'm always here. And whoever's watching this, I hope you are blessed and inspired, which is the whole purpose of this channel called Inspired Moment Messages. And for everyone watching, information about both Jackie and Tanisha and their book, whatever they want to disclose about it at this point, will be in the description box below. I thank both of you for being here, and have a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings, my ladies.
Blessings to you and blessings to you.
Thank you. Bye, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later. Peace.